Okay, it's Friday. What time is it? 1:54. Normally in England, it's Friday and it's 5 o'clock and it's crackerjack time. But it's been a crazy week, and here we are again with another C-Suite podcast. For anyone watching out there in LinkedIn world, I know it's Poets Day, and in England we call that Poets Day, which is piss off early. Tomorrow's Saturday. But today I'm very happy and very grateful that we've got Bernard, a CTO from one of the government departments down in Melbourne, to join us and have a conversation around leadership, around tech, and around social impact. And it's pretty exciting because Bernard has been with us since pretty much Meet Magic started, which I was flabbergasted about it. We started this thing basically in 2018 as an idea, and Bernard's basically, I'm sure Bernard came on board with us as one of the first execs to take meetings. Would have been around the 2019 period when we just kickstarted the conversation with Starlight Children's Foundation, and we've since gone on to give the Starlight Children's Foundation over $1 million, which is quite remarkable. So I'm very excited. I'm going to introduce Bernard onto the stage right now and come and have a chat. Bernard, how good. I can't believe, it literally is mind-boggling for me to think it is 4 years or so, at least, that you've been with us.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a shock, isn't it? And we're talking about it offline there before. And, I sort of remember when you were just kicking off with Starlight. And I thought, what a great concept. What a great idea. And $1 million, that's just incredible. Absolutely incredible, mate.
It is. We were just talking about the platform that we've just built. And, I was talking to somebody this morning about the journey that you go through when you have an idea that's an idea, just an idea, and you build a community around that, and then all of a sudden that community is an offline community where it's, we were doing things by spreadsheet and Google Docs. So our clients would give us some money. We'd then send them a list of execs that they can meet with. They'd pick off that list. And we then go and pick up the phone and call Bernard and say, "Hey, Bernard, can you take a meeting?" You probably had some calls from all sorts of people back in the day trying to get time in your diary.
I had some great meetings back in the day. It's interesting. It expands that circle of knowledge, that circle of people that you normally deal with. It gives you that lens on I guess, it's a lens into other worlds and what other people are doing, and that's wonderful. It's really beautiful. What really makes me feel good inside is when execs like yourself adopt things early and have a look without being too standoffish. And that was really, I can't thank you enough for that. And all the execs that supported us in the early days they're champions for me, because the early adopters are the ones that helped us get to where we are today. And you're one of those early adopters. We're just saying, we've got loads of execs now that have got Meet Magic Ambassador as part of their LinkedIn profile, and you absolutely have to have one on yours. I could do that. I could.
So you're now. So I can't remember where you were working when we first met, but you're now at the Victorian Institute of Forensic Medicine.
That's right. Yeah, a bit of a career change. So I was with the Scavello Group for 21 years. Yeah. I think when I started there, they were about a $20 or $30 million company and 3 companies in the group. When I left, I think there were 23 companies in the group, $750 million a year turnover. Wow. Multinational, a lot of different market segments. So it was certainly a journey and a great ride. And now I'm doing something different.
Tell me about the forensic medicine side. This is, my daughter's at university, right? And she's like on the board of the student university foundation, whatever they call it, student uni. I never went to university, so I don't even know what they have. She's the head of social. She's a social minister as part of the student union, whatever it is. And on that, there's also some boys who are the president of the student union, and they are like high level kids who they're the top end of town. Just do they call it straight sevens? Is that what it is?
Could be. Yeah, I haven't been in academia in a long time, but
they're
they're medicine students and they know everything about how to manipulate your brain and all the drugs in it. So I'm curious about the whole forensic medicine piece, because it's, where does that all going to go now with Neuralink?
Oh, good question. The amount of data that will be, I guess it's almost a black box in your head to put it into context. We'll be able to backtrack those last couple of minutes until something occurred. So yes, with that one, absolutely. Yeah. So VIFM's the forensic arm of the coroner's court. So we're the donor tissue bank for Victoria. We're a school of excellence for Monash University, where we're doing a lot of machine learning and artificial intelligence that they're running over our data. We present a massive data cube to them. We're toxicology for Vicpol.
Right.
We're missing persons. And we're the National Coronial Information System for all of the deceased around Australia and New Zealand. All of their data ends up back in our infrastructure, or back in our custodianship.
That's really interesting. I mean, we're listening to quite a few leaks that are happening with data at the moment. I think Football Australia's just had one.
I feel for them. Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me, how do you sleep at night, Bernard, when you've got all that sort of data that's really quite sensitive stuff?
It is. We put a lot of effort into our risk management. It's crucial for us, and we spend a lot of time around that. We have various organisations that are constantly monitoring the environment, etc. But ultimately, it comes back to people, and whether it's our research fellows, or it's our own internal staff, or our IT people, it's being aware. It's being vigilant. And all we can do is reinforce that with training, and just continue to go down that path. It's all we can do. Yeah.
So as a CTO, I mean, you're almost at the forefront. What does it involve every day being a CTO of a forensic medicine organization? Is it all around the data, or is it internal facing, or is it everything external as well?
It's a combination of. So the data is used in a lot of different ways. So it's used in obviously various cases that end up in front of the courts. It's used for the academic research purposes. So we have a data cube, which we've removed the PIM from, the personal information from. It's about 70 terabytes. And that is interrogated for the machine learning and the AI, etc., that Monash University are very heavily involved with. University of Texas and University of Edinburgh are currently using that data. And if you have a look, I think it's on the Microsoft site at the moment, or it's certainly floating around if you Google it. There's the virtual autopsy, where they're using the HoloLenses to do that. That data set is supplied by us for that. And our data's growing. It just, as you can imagine, technology is driving that, and it's little things. It's photography, going from standard or whatever definition it was to 4K. It's our CT scanners. We've got an MRI scanner on order at the moment. Our toxicology, the DNA samplers, they're all just generating huge volumes of information.
Wow!
And it's what the organisation does with that information that's crucial.
Yeah, right. I'm from Nottingham, right? We invented the MRI scanner, believe it or not.
Oh, there you go. I've been to Nottingham, so I've been to the river. Yes.
Yeah, right. The River Trent.
Yes, with all the bars, etc., along the edge of it there. Very nice.
But that's a really interesting. I mean, I didn't know you guys did that. But how do you balance innovation and risk management around security around that? Because that's surely, you're sending critical data overseas to these companies, and how do you balance that?
The data, at this point, the data never leaves us. So we will allow access to the data, or to a subset of the data normally, within a contained environment, but the data does not leave our custodianship for that very reason. Yeah. The other thing that we have to be very careful of as the type of organisation is that everybody we deal with, from the deceased to the living to the emotional content around that, everything has to be done with dignity. And that has its own skew on it in terms of what data is released, how it's released, who it's released to. and the timing of which it's released. We have a lot of loved ones who are very keen to have their the families of the loved ones very keen to say their goodbye. So we have a very limited time to collect that data and to make sure that that data is accurate and right and clean so that the correct determinations are made.
Wow.
So there's a lot of nuances around that, a lot of ethics around that and how we use that data beyond that. And then there's a lot of quality control, consistency, auditing around that data, which we need to do. So it's an interesting organisation.
We had we had a guy on this week he was one of the directors of security oversight from PayPal, and he was talking about some of the challenges around cybersecurity, because it's clearly a number one topic that everyone's got on their agenda right now, and the nation state stuff. I think the stuff that the ASD worries about, the China, the Russia, the Iran, and North Korea, and so on. I think he was talking about something about last year. There was something like 76,000 cyber attacks in Australia. I think one every 7 minutes or something like that. That was in 2022, sorry. And then in 2023, I think those reports were one every 6 minutes. So it sort of went up 20%. And I think 3 of them per day were of a serious nature. And it seems like it seems like it's getting worse. Do you feel like that is the case where you are as well?
I think that the tools that are available external to people that want to maybe not be malicious but learn and play are out there. And people used to use the term script kiddie. I think that's a wrong term. I think it's moved on from that.
Yeah.
But I think that the availability of the tools and the need to not have that in-depth knowledge has certainly increased that at that level.
That sort of plays right into the whole Meet Magic thing. We talk about most of our clients, a lot of them are cybersecurity, and so the visions and trends for the future for you guys. Do you see any emerging technologies at the moment that you think are going to have a big impact on your industry over the next 5 years?
We're using, I guess, a number of technologies. Certainly, the ability to use machine learning and artificial intelligence to supplement our very specialist doctors, because they may only see somebody who's passed from a certain injury once or twice in their career, and that's why at 65 their knowledge in their head is immense. To be able to have access to that knowledge in context for the younger doctors coming through, and for them to be able to take an image and have some suggestions to them about what it may be, or lead them down a path they wouldn't have thought of or wouldn't have been able to consider without that experience, is certainly a changer. The other one for us is really, and it comes back to that, to people, we have invasive and non-invasive procedures. If they can be non-invasive, it's quicker, it's better for the family, it's just a lot smoother process. So the more we can use technology to enable that through toxicology, photography, MRI, CT, X-ray, whatever that may be, and take that data and utilise it to determine why somebody passed without having to go to that next level, I think is crucial. I think, those combinations all together just are really just driving where VIFM is going.
Yeah, I mean, it's the speed to knowledge as well, right? I mean, how somebody dies and understanding why and how quickly, I'd imagine, would be the part of the path of recovery as well for a lot of the parents that have lost, or a lot of the people that have lost their loved ones.
Absolutely. And we've got to do that at volume. It's 7,200 to 7,400 deceased a year we have going through our facilities.
Wow.
So in that respect, but we also have to be able to scale, and that's where technology really comes in. And it's leads to, I guess, my part and where I am now a little bit. It's scalability, and it's using technology to scale in a hurry. You do it with construction. You enable a site on construction. You have a paddock. You have a construction site, and you bring in, a couple hundred people or whatever it may be very quickly, and you scale up. You do the project, and you move on. We do a similar thing, and hopefully we never have to. Ash Wednesday and various other examples, and certainly around the world that happens, which is disaster victim identification, which is a mass event where we have to scale all of our systems very quickly. We have to onboard a lot of people from around the world. Then we have to run that and then pack that up. So we do a lot of planning around hopefully something that never happens, but we need to make sure we're ready for it. And technology just enables that, the cloud, virtual desktops, and just all of that sort of space is just where we're heading.
It strikes me that I think 95% of cybersecurity hacks, for example, are human error. But the budgets that are being allocated, by the boards are not necessarily going towards training people in how to not do things. You might have seen. I live near that beach where the lady got attacked by the shark. I'm literally a couple of hundred yards away from that Elizabeth Bay beach, and a lot of those pictures that were taken when she was bleeding and in hospital were leaked by one of the ambulance paramedics. So it's come down to human error. No one's hacked into a system. It's a human that's actually gone and leaked them onto social media. And so all of a sudden now the ambulance department and the government are all in defense mode, trying to talk to the family about the issue and how it happened and whatever. So I think human error is still going to play a huge part in making sure that people understand what to do and what not to do.
I agree. I think risk mitigation is certainly a key around that. And that's having those open conversations and having, I'm 15 months into this role. And I can tell you now, I'm still like a child. I still ask questions in meetings because I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm learning as quick as I can, but a lot of our people have that 15, 20 years experience.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of work around risk, as you can imagine. And it's looking at the process, looking at what they want to achieve, then looking at a scope of how that could do it, and then looking at the products. And do we have the right tools? Don't we have the right tools? Do we have the right training? Not the right training around that. And, using, say, SMS to move photos around of that nature is probably the wrong tool. It certainly doesn't have the governance and auditing around it that you would expect from a robust system.
Yeah.
So, getting in early, understanding the business, working with the business, and being an enabler of the business is crucial to having those right conversations at that right time and then securing that right funding.
Is that all? I mean, obviously the digital transformation piece is that. Have you got any examples internally of where you're leading a transformation initiative at the moment?
I guess because of my and I'll be straight, limited knowledge of the field that I am now working in from a business aspect, the technology bit, there's a lot of transferables. I'm not heading the digital transformation within VIFM. A gentleman by the name of Mark Gardner is. He's very experienced CIO in the medical space. He's Alfred Health, Ambulance Victoria, Blood Bank, The Age. Many years ago, he was CIO. So he's heading up our digital transformation, and I'm learning a lot around that. I'm learning about our business processes. But I'm also learning about the pre-thought and the architectural side of that and getting it right before we start building it. And we're learning from others. We're learning from other states that have done it. We're learning from the vendors. And that project's, I think it's just completed its first sprint. So it's very early in its enablement phase.
The whole Meet Magic philosophy is, you get to sit down with the vendor and learn some stuff. We try and tell the vendors not to go in there selling because nobody wants a pitch anymore. They just want to have a conversation. And that could be around digital transformation. It could be around ethical technology or how you use technology responsibly. I'm sort of leading to the point where these meetings really become, the value is the knowledge that you get from that information to help you with business projects that you've currently got. Have you got any examples from the Meet Magic meetings you've had where, let's say for example, you've learned something and it's actually it's benefited you some way? I'm trying to get to a point where other executives see the value of these meetings, because then we're trying to move away from the perception that this is a hard sell This is more about you coming together and joining a community of leaders that are purpose-driven, that have the ability to have a conversation with a vendor, world-class vendors, top end of town vendors, who are solving problems in your industry basically, and you get to learn from those people. Have you got any examples where that's sort of happened over the couple of years that you've been with us? So on the spot question, that one.
Oh, absolutely, put me on the spot with that one. Look, I think certainly a big one, and we look at cybersecurity, as you've mentioned a couple of times there. I guess the final part of cybersecurity is recovery. It's not an if, it's a when, and getting that recovery solution right is crucial. Through Meeting Magic, I've got a pretty good feeling. I have to go back into my diary, but I certainly met with some representatives of VIFM, Commvault, and probably 2 or 3 other top Gartner right-hand quadrant participants, Veritas, etc., around that space. And out of that knowledge, you get a lot better opinion, and you see where the market's going, where their roadmaps are going, what the differentiators of those products are, and you put it, but not in that hard sell environment. It's having those conversations with the vendors so they understand the business need that we have.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are very straight up. If you ask the right questions, they'll say, look, we don't have that, but it's coming. Or our vendor has this, but we're not doing it because of X or Y. This is where we're now going. And that knowledge or that transfer is relationship. That's not sell. That's, hey, we might not be the right candidate for you today, but you give us 6 months, we will be. Or we're going down this path, and this is why. And you respect that. Yeah. And it's worth your time. It's worth that half hour, 45 minutes of your time to have those conversations.
Well, I think we try and tell a lot of the vendors that are on board. I mean, they are the top right-hand quadrant, like you say, and we try and often they'll say to us things like, "I only want to talk to the CISO," and I'm like, well, maybe you should take a step away from that, because you'll find more serendipity would happen if you talk to the head of product or the head of technology of a different area, because the conversation is different, and it allows for serendipity to happen, and for happy accidents to happen or occur. And we see that a lot, because it's almost like if you're constantly talking to the same security leader about cybersecurity, it's just the conversation's not open. It's just all about solving a problem. So I think we're trying to move away from trying to get the salespeople to just think a little bit differently and have conversations that are, just where they wouldn't normally have. I always say things like, people ask me about how you find opportunity. If you go to your LinkedIn profile, very simple. Look at all the people that you've not spoken to for more than a year and go and have a conversation with them, because you'll find more value out of that conversation than somebody that you talk to every single day. And that for me is same with these meetings. They should treat them as a long-term relationship connection. That's it. And I think there was a report I read about from Gartner, actually. They said that at any one particular time, only 5% of your market are in the market to buy your product. So that means 95% of people are not buying right now.
But also, you got to remember, today's solutions are tomorrow's problems.
Yes.
So, and to solve those problems, you need the right person in the room, or the right people in the room. And to me, a relationship building exercise is, you'll have the salesperson there, but you'll have pre-sales. Yeah. And pre-sales know the product and the application of the product, not just that they have an inkling of the commercials, but they're the people you want to have the conversations with at that initial level, because they can tell you, at X company we did this, and at Y company we did this, but your company's an X and a Y company. So we can do a W, or we can do something else. And to me, that's where that real value is. It's those connections of people who have that experience.
Yeah, look, I mean, we've built this platform to help technology become a force for social good and to create some sort of social impact. Help you guys in the leadership roles to actually continue to do what you do every day. The differentiated value is that you don't have to go and sleep rough to raise money for charity. You can just continue to do what you've always done, have a meeting, and have that supported charity. How do you see technology? I mean, I know we do that, but do you see any other areas where technology is being leveraged to create positive outcomes?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot there, mate. No, I don't. But I would just like to give you a bit of feedback on the other part. I know that when I get a request from yourselves, and that it is a donation to charity, I make the time.
Yeah.
Where a lot of requests you get are just, why would I bother? You know, what's the need? But because of that extra factor that you know that there's something going to a worthy cause.
Yeah.
I clear my calendar and I will find that time, which I probably wouldn't do otherwise.
One of the things I really want to clear up here for people, for the salespeople that are watching this is, you know, you're a technology leader, you're a CTO of a government organization. You know, if somebody comes to you with, let's say, I mean, most of our clients are tech related, whether it's HR tech, prop tech, whether it's cybersecurity, customer analytics, data, whatever it is, it's all technology related. If somebody came to you that you wouldn't necessarily normally meet with, would you meet with them to learn about that particular technology rather than just saying, no, it's not my area?
I do, but that's me.
Yeah.
And I think that expands my knowledge and makes me more valuable to the organisation.
Yep.
And I guess that your tool and your offering allows me to do that, and I appreciate that. I really do.
And that, I think, is the value. That's where lucky accidents happen for you too, right? You meet with somebody that you normally necessarily wouldn't meet with, but then all of a sudden you're having a great conversation about how something's happened, and then 2 days later you've gone, oh, actually, I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and they're that problem, you know, is mitigated, or you've solved something, or whatever. Bernard, it's been great chatting with you. I'm very grateful, and we have this platform that's available. You are registered on it, and we have kept a track of all. I don't know. I should have looked before I came online, but we have kept a track of all the meetings that you've had, and inside the platform is the amount of money that you've raised for the particular charity that you've chosen, and it's all trackable. So it's actually an ESG tracking tool for you to feel good about.
I'll have to have a look because you've got more knowledge on me than I do. And that's not uncommon these days.
One of the things that we're doing soon is where all of our supporters, we're going to be bringing them together, the top ones, the early ones, bring them together for a nice dinner or something to say thank you, because it's that time to do that. And so you can then introduce us to some more of your peers or whatever it is, and we start to grow this thing. Our goal now is to get 10,000 execs on the platform. You know, the tech team have done a great job building it. We've got lots of customers, and we're ready to scale now. So I think it's. I just want to say thank you for your support in the early days, because it really does mean a lot to us. And of course, it's, you know, the impact that you're making just through doing something that you're doing every single day is beautiful.
Carl, and I'm just looking forward to seeing where your platform goes. Some of the stuff you showed me offline there was absolutely incredible. I think we're talking about how I believe you're jumping some of the other major industry players in how you're using the information you have, and I think that's just brilliant.
Well, I think the thing, like with you, what you guys are doing, you know, anyone can go and build a platform today, and I think this is the key. I think what we did very smartly, is that a word? What we did very cleverly, that's probably better, was actually build the community first. So we got people to see the value first before actually building a platform, and we built the platform around that. So now people are actually coming to it going, actually, that's way better than a spreadsheet. That's actually much more convenient than that. Now I can track the ROI. Now I can now I can see the impact. Now I feel good about taking these meetings. So that's what we've done. And, you know, I think it's got, you're right. I mean, anyone can go and build some technology, but what you can't do is build the 3 or 4 years of people like yourself who have been supporting us along the way. And, you know, we must have 100 execs now online that have got Meet Magic Ambassador in their LinkedIn profile, and you need to have one, because you're old school. You're what? In my hip hop,
is that a good or a bad thing, mate? I had a milestone birthday this year, and it scared me.
How much?
Oh, it's the 50. I had the big 50. It was last year. It was actually the last year, and it scared me.
My girlfriend's 50 this year. I'm 54 in April, and I know I shouldn't look this good at 54, but, you know, I have to look after myself.
Same. I see the similarities, mate.
Great. You have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for sharing some thoughts with us. This is just people can watch this and really get a sense of what goes on inside your world, which is really what it's all about. And
yeah, you know, check out our website, have a bit of a look in there. So yeah, we've got a lot of case studies and things up there, which are some podcasts I think we've just put up there. So
Yeah, right.
there's various bits and pieces happening.
I had no idea that you guys actually work with all those different universities and so on. There's loads of execs on. We got so Kerry Holling is the director, is the president, I think, of Cordit, which is all of the university's technology leaders in a group. So we've got loads of those execs that are on board, and a lot of them are from the university that Monash University that you mentioned.
Monash. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yes,
I think the CISO is on there. Dan Maslin is a big supporter of ours, and you should have a conversation with him.
we should. Absolutely.
Have a great weekend, Bernard, and thanks again for your support. We're very grateful.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.